I've seen this take all around the anime community to the point it annoyed me so much, it made me make this video.
Fuck Deku, he's soft. Fuck Takemitchy, bro.
Motherfucker cries even though he's like 30. They are not raw, weak, worst main character ever. I'm kinda tired of hearing shit like this. I've been following MHA ever since it started. It was the first time I became obsessed with the series, and like many others, I like Deku as a character, but one thing hasn't changed. Ever since the release of MHA, you would always hear something that involved at least these two words, Deku and crying, and with 8 years of serialization to its spell, you would believe that joke had died. But nah, you still hear that around the anime community from time to time to mock MHA fans or as a reason as to why Deku sucks as a character. But at least now, Deku has a friend he can cry with, Takemitchy. Although not as common, you still see that type of reply when someone mentions how trash the series turned into, which hey, at least we can agree on something. But why do people think like this? The first thing that comes to my mind when someone says a character is bad for no apparent reason is that they probably look like this. And am I wrong? Yeah, probably. But one thing I know for certain that is fucking stupid is the men can cry type of comments. They've always baffled me. Crying doesn't make you a lesser man or weak. Shit, I mean, I admire a man who can cry. Not only is it a good relief, it also shows you have feelings. When, for example, I see a buff character breaking down, I actually applaud the author for doing that. Deku was someone who had big dreams and had them crumble away at the age of 4. He was bullied for not having a quirk, to then coincidentally meeting All Might, where in the process ended up gaining a quirk, something he had wished his entire life. And Takemitchy is someone that pretty much cries for the smallest things due to having low self-esteem, but has an unwavering spirit. Somehow he ends up traveling back in time, which made him meet his old friends and girlfriend, and now is forced into a situation he really isn't good at. He's very immature for someone that is an adult, and that does bother me considering he has barely changed, but that doesn't mean he needs to stop crying. He has cried lesser, but it definitely won't go away. It's his character after all. It's like every battle shonen protagonist has to have a demon form or just the most cliche personality. And they also need to have the most traumatic backstory in order to be liked by these people, cause that way their crying is justified. Of course, there are more protagonists out there that cry almost 24/7, but these two are usually the ones that come up on my timeline. But why?
They are not raw.
In other words, they are not cool. Simple as that. This is cool, this is cool, this is also cool, but this is definitely not cool. Pretty much, you need to act cool. Therefore, you should act calm and collected, you know, like a leader. Ironically, both Deku and Takemitchy are in their own way leaders. Deku is the leader of his class, they always support him because of how he acts and because his energy is contagious. And just like Aizawa said, even if they are not physically with everyone, their presence raises the standard for the whole class. And in Takemitchy's case, who is also known as the crybaby hero, he is described to resemble Mikey's brother, Shinichiro, who was weak in everything, but despite all of that, was a great leader who gained the respect of a lot of people, even rival gangs. He was a kind person that would lead people on the right path. I've never understood why it is bad to cry. If I'm alone and I'm watching something that is sad, you bet I will cry. Goto Sensei's death was crying from episodes 21 to 24. Your name? A silent voice? I still cry about it when I rewatch it alone at like 5 AM. Interstellar? It's my favorite movie, of course I'll cry. Or maybe when I'm watching my team get 1v1 in Valorant in overtime. I'm a very reserved person, and I rarely vent my friends, which is why I guess I take all of my negative feelings by crying. I'm not encouraging people to cry like, you should cry, you cry over there, everybody must cry. But there's literally nothing wrong with it. In the case of Deku and Takemitchy, it can be annoying, sure, but it's pretty easy to understand their reasoning. Like most of the times Deku cried was on season 1. I just fucking die every time I see someone say Deku is weak or isn't tough just because he cries. Like, didn't you see this motherfucker break his bones just to help Todoroki with his trauma? Yeah, let me see you do that, buddy. But for real, nowadays, he barely cries. Takemitchy, on the other hand, is still crying, but he's crying because his series became a At the end of the day, it just makes them feel real instead of some, I don't know, action figures. But if you think I'm wrong and that they are shit characters, it's okay. It's okay to be wrong, but you don't need to cry about it. To be honest, that would be quite hypocritical from you.